The Peninsula Stadium is poised for playoff drama. Salford and Grimsby to come first. The managers have been speaking to Pien Mullenstein about the jeopardy of the night.
Listen, it's a playoff. All the best laid plans, as you know, can go out the window very, very quickly. Just like when we played them at there, for 23 seconds they scored. So, in a weird way, I've just said to the players in there, that just shows you how slender that lead is. It can go like that. We are incredibly together. We are calm, but we have to be relentless. We do. We're proud of our club. I think we've come an awful long way. And we want to make some sort of inroads within the EFL. And nights like tonight are going to be moments that hopefully we can look back on and really enjoy as a football club. But before we do that, we've got a very, very difficult task. It's a good team and a good manager.
How are you as a manager finding moments like these, playoffs like this? Are you excited for it, or does it feel a little bit different?
No, it's great, isn't it? Your first statement, everyone wants to be involved in games like this. I'm not different. I'm also not different. It's a great day, great night, lovely night for it. You know, we could have filled the stadium just with Grimsby fans. That's how many people wanted to come here. So we've got a whole town wanting to cheer us on, and hopefully we'll do them proud.
Well, Pien Mullenstein asking the questions to two calm, for now, head coaches. I wonder what the emotions will be like as the evening unfolds. Dave Edwards alongside me on the gantry this evening. This should be a night that keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, there's a lot of intrigue around this game. It's finely poised. Grimsby have had a good record this season against Salford, and it was their first loss in that opening leg, but they beat them in the two other previous outings. 2-0 here back in October, and just that one goal difference, it really could go either way. Grimsby hoping they can start the game fast, get Salford on the back foot, but this atmosphere here tonight is going to be very special.
The semi-final second leg, the night from which the seed extends, or the point at which it ends. The first meeting gave us much to discuss and digest. The second must produce a finalist. Salford City march out in possession of a much debated and dangerously slender lead, perhaps. Grimsby Town have work to do, fired up by feelings of injustice from part one. It's another playoff evening on a knife edge, with a huge prize up for grabs and two impressive outfits in the mix to grab it. To the lineups we go then. Carl Robinson was delighted with the outcome of the first leg, underlined by his selection of the same starting 11 tonight. The side includes Josh Osterfield and Dan Udo, who felt the pain of playoff semi-final defeat in the past, and Brandon Cooper, who was on the winning side at this stage of the League One edition with Leyton Orient just last season. George Grant again misses out through injury, but Kadeem Harris returns to the bench after an injury-plagued second half of the campaign. David Artell makes 3 changes from the first leg. 22-goal top scorer Jace Cabier is a surprise omission from the starting 11. Justin Amour-Thor and Clark O'Dour also stepped down. There are recalls for Dara Burns, Charles Vernham and Jamie Walker. Walker and Kieran Green have suffered previous playoff pain. Andy Cook has scored in and won a National League playoff final in his non-league days with Tranmere. George McEachran and Doug Tharm returned to the squad after injury layoffs. McEachran's missed almost 2 months, Tharm nearly 4. So it will be a team effort to get their sides through to Wembley tonight, but there will be individuals who will, of course, influence the outcome.
Yeah, key player for Salford, Adielu at the heart of that defence. So good in both boxes, winning that first contact. Gets on the end of crosses in important moments. He got the winner in the first leg. He'll have his hands full with a very physical Grimsby team. But he's had an excellent season, and he'll be very important again this evening. And the man he'll be up against, Andy Cook. He might not get all the plaudits, the experienced striker. Doesn't quite get all the goals in this team, but he keeps defenders occupied. He does have that knack of finding the net in crucial games. I hope tonight is the same, but his ability to hold the ball up and bring the likes of Kieran Green into it, Charles Vernham, Dara Burns, that'd be so important for the away team.
And his manager, David Artell, was fuming after the match-winning goal from the first leg, but has great faith in his side's ability on the road, and with good reason, as you can see. They'll hope for a better outcome this time around than on their own patch a few days ago. Incidentally, have never lost a playoff tie here at the Peninsula Stadium. They have a fabulous record at a kind of matches. But Carl Robinson has felt the full range of playoff emotions during his career in the dugout. So let's see what he and indeed David Artell's sides produce for us this evening. A reminder of the state of play as we start the evening. Salford City a goal up here on aggregate. Notts County host Chesterfield with Notts 1 up heading into their return leg. It's the second successive season that the away team has won both first legs in the League Two playoffs. Indeed, 5 of the last 6 first legs have been won by the away team. Just wonder whether it'll be the hosts or the visitors who'll be smiling come full time. They're all set and ready to go, both sides in their usual colours. And it will be Salford City to start us. Such an enthralling first leg by the sea. I wonder what we'll see in the northwest here tonight. The first touch will come from Kelly Namai. Ben Speedy just making sure everyone is where they should be. And it's Luke Garbutt who kicks for touch. Wind the clock back 12 months and both Grimsby and Salford missed out on a playoff place on the campaign's final day. This time around both have their eyes on the Wembley prize and there is little to choose between them as we get underway tonight.
The two informed teams in League Two at the back end of the season, Grimsby in particular, since Christmas, got on an unbelievable run. Salford looked like they're in a bit of trouble around the February-March period, but they've turned in some really good performances since then. And they are the teams arriving in the playoffs, playing the best football.
Here comes Salford City looking to start quickly, as Grimsby did, of course, in the first leg. Chimanoga on the ball nice and early. To fight his way through. There might be some good physical battles tonight. Charles Vernham on that side with him. Of course, that first leg saw Grimsby hit the back of the net within the first minute. 26 seconds had elapsed when Rhys Staunton fired the Mariners ahead. One of the quickest ever playoff goals. Flick on for Salford towards Kelly Namai, but into the grasp of Jackson Smith.
Yeah, some strike as well by Rhys Staunton in that first leg. Blundell Park was absolutely rocking. And Salford City supporters be trying to do the same for their team this evening, having that home advantage. But Salford were excellent in the way they bounced back. Managed the game really well. Very professional performance from Carl Robinson's men. Really took the tempo out of the game, which then meant the atmosphere really dipped. And then they were in complete control after they got the equaliser.
Flip on towards Cook from Green. Up and away via Osterfield. Cook again with a good old tangle with Cooper. And then off the ball. Dan Udo is felled. Or at least that's what he thought. That will bounce all the way through to Matt Young, one of the standout performers in this division this season. Young goalkeeper on loan from Sunderland. Shortlisted for the EFL League Two Young Player of the Year. We might well see some big performances from goalkeepers here tonight. We certainly have in the playoffs thus far this season. Bolton Wanderers getting through last night in the League One playoff semi-final. With a huge contribution from Jack Bonham with the gloves. Staunton to restart the game here. Cook and Green the targets. It's away from both of them and indeed Cooper as well. Didn't quite have enough on it to bounce all the way out. Sesse's after that with McJanet. Back. Eventually hacked away with Udo wondering if he was going to be charging through. A lively back pass for Young to deal with. Graydon's touch, but into trouble. Here goes Cook, trying to prod it goalwards with plenty chasing him down.
Yeah, the initial play was slick from Grimsby, the way they win the ball back and then get it into Cook quickly. The right pass when Cook gets in is Burnham. He's waiting on the edge of the box. Striker just gets it wrong at the vital moment. Tries to go the outside of his right foot. And just technically not quite there, unfortunately, for the experienced striker. But good signs from Grimsby, starting on the front foot. First real attack of the evening so far.
Unusual from him, really, with a terrific goal-scoring career. Here's Sese, stopped in the nick of time. Really good lunging challenge by Gazeturi.
Sese was a big feature of that first leg. Just understanding where that midfield run is coming from Callum Sese. So athletic, the young midfielder, to join in.
Lively start from both of these sides. Grimsby Town go searching for the opener, but the offside flag will stop them. Darragh Burns, I think, knew the minute the ball was poked towards him.
Yeah, he wanted to leave it and then realised that his teammates wouldn't get on the end of it. So he interrupted Brandon Cooper, I think it was, recovering back in. Oh, Minogue it was actually. Yeah, clearly offside. Good decision.
Well, David Artell has playoff past as a player. He won the League Two playoffs in 2012 with Crewe Alexandra as a player. Starting the final, the victory over Cheltenham. Also lost the National League playoff final in the colours of Wrexham against Newport at Wembley. Five minutes in, and the dynamic hasn't changed, but there's certainly impetus from both of these sides, as you'd expect. Help forward towards Gazeturi with a few forward for company, including Cook, who couldn't quite sort his feet out. And Young will happily gather. Strong challenge by Namai on Jamie Walker, making sure there's no room for manoeuvre. Carl Robinson just trying to make sure that Harvey Rogers doesn't gain any ground. He was playing the role as a second, fourth official. Down goes Gazeturi. Widow trying to break free. McJanet makes sure that nothing untoward happens, from Grimsby's point of view at least. Burns. Trying to spread the play. Moga had other ideas though, saw it coming. Fair bit of shirt pulling by Staunton on Graydon.
Yeah, Reece Staunton wasn't too happy with that. Graydon showed really good strength to make sure that the left back couldn't come and get the other side of him and win the ball back. And there's one area where Salford really excelled in the first leg, is when the ball came back to front. The front three, in particular Udo and Graydon, were able to just relieve the pressure by using their physicality, giving the midfielders enough time to join in, the likes of Sese in particular.
Young with the kick. Graydon managed to break free. Namai just couldn't help it on its way. Forward by Cooper. Udo trying to get himself in behind that Grimsby back line. Namai. Gazeturi once again just shielding his defence. Goes down. Contact from Cooper. Not the first and it won't be the last of those kind of challenges between the two.
Andy Cook, another one who's so good back to goal, gets his body between the player and the ball, and Brandon Cooper just a little bit too handsy with him. Too much pressure. We heard the scream up here from Andy Cook, didn't we? He wanted that foul. He's going to let the referee know that it was there.
3 goals in his last 7 appearances. On loan from Bradford City, who of course were edged out by Bolton Wanderers last night in League One. What a fabulous season for them after promotion from League Two last season. Staunton to deliver. Bending that in towards the crowd. Walker. McJanet will happily accept the corner.
That was celebrated, wasn't it, in that Grimsby end? First little opportunity for them to put some good quality into the box. Vernon does have that quality. The in-swinging corner coming in.
Corner is fired in, and they'll go again, albeit with a different ball. That one is bouncing down the road. Plenty going on in the middle as it's fired into the crowd there. It's Walker who tries to take it on. Tries to tempt those in red into a challenge as well. Towards Green, and it bounces away from Burns. Well, he says this is the closest he's been to a squad of players in his managerial career. He has absolute faith in them to produce the goods. He's also well aware of the fact that they're ahead, but only just in this time. There's a fair bit of work still to do to realise that Wembley ambition.
Yeah, certainly is. A slender lead. Really happy about the game started though. Uneventful, which is good for Salford.
Lure down after a coming together with Cook.
Azialuwu reading the play extremely well, gets in front of Andy Cook and does get clipped. Wins his side of foul. Now it's Salford's opportunity to put some good quality into the box from deep. Again, Luke Garbett's the one on it, excellent quality.
Yeah, the skipper and the chief creator from set plays. And someone who can well and truly have a go from closer range with great effect. Towards Graydon. He can't quite leap enough.
Excellent detail though from Garbett. He was aiming for Graydon in a 1v1 situation, but even though he didn't win it, just look where that throw-in's gone out in. Right in the corner. Chance for Salford to really box Grimsby in. It wasn't just a hit and hope ball, that it was angled into an area knowing that if there was no contact they got an opportunity to win it back off this throw-in.
Here's Osterfield trying to do just that. Grimsby managed to win it back though. Here's Walker. Katsuri. Under pressure from Udo. Time and space for Jackson Smith to weigh up his options. Not so much now though, with Sese applying the pressure. And that is a Salford City ball, which has bemused a few in black and white. David Artell very unhappy at that call. Here's Namai in behind Rodgers, and a little go at him. Namai keeps on going and finds Graydon. That's a golden chance to stretch away.
Big chance. And it would have been another talking point because of the throw-in. Dave Artell's not happy with that, but wonderful running from Kelly Namai, driving past Grimsby players as it arrives to Graydon. A little bit safe for the finish, goes to the side foot, far too close to Jackson Smith. As it comes across to him here, lets it rip across his body, maybe wanting a bit more pace on the ball. Knew the Grimsby players were going to get across, but tame finish from Ryan Graydon.
Well, the Grimsby bench would have erupted had that found the back of the net. They did anyway, really, in truth.
Still going down there. He wasn't happy with some of the decisions in the first leg. You just feel if that would have hit the back of the net, David Artell would have reached boiling point.
That is Salford City's first shot on target since the second goal of the first leg, the goal from Adeola Oluo after 40 minutes of game one. He really tried to step in and thwart Grimsby Town after taking the lead. Here's Cooper, realising that he couldn't go backwards, so was very pleased to feel the contact from Vernon.
Yeah, excellent stuff from Brandon Cooper. Experience. Knew he couldn't really go back to Matty Young because Andy Cook was closing him down, so he drops his shoulder, goes up the line. As soon as he feels that contact, falls on the ball, gets his side of foul. Vernon should know a little bit better. As you're pressing in the corner, last thing you want to do is give him, the defender, any excuse to feel that contact and go down. He's in a tough position, but they've been let off the hook.
Yeah, the challenge was initially much ado about nothing, wasn't it? But actually the bang on the head as the leg came through from Vernon was what caused Cooper the problem. Cook keeping Aluo honest. Up and away from Young. Cooper. Graydon the target, just stepping in ahead of Staunton. No appeals from the field. Salford City persuasion, but a fair few in the crowd wanted a free kick. It's worked out well for them though here, with Sese and Graydon and options in the middle, and they'll stay there for a corner.
In the moment Salford live for, Grimsby a little bit wasteful in possession. Giza Tory with a sloppy pass, which is unlike him. But Salford react quickly. Garbutt quick onto the scene. Sese excellent position in the middle of the pitch. Good body position to get on the half turn. Goes out to Graydon. Just can't quite create enough of an angle to wrap it around Rhys Staunton.
Well, let's remember what happened in the first leg. Hachimanoga was right in the way of Jackson Smith, which caused all the issues for the second goal. And Smith this time makes sure that the path to the ball is clear. Not so much once he caught it, though. Trying to get out from the penalty area.
Wonderful take, though, from Jackson Smith, because it was a ball whipped in from Luke Garbutt. Lots of pace on it, lots of bodies around the Grimsby goalkeeper. Very calm and assured the way he gathered it.
Barnsley loanee, initially signed on an emergency loan in December, and rejoined for the rest of the season in January. He's kept Christy Pym on the bench. Player who's lost 2 League Two playoff finals in his Exeter City days. Opening it up here for Walker, who's searching for Vernon. It can be so dangerous from the wing, coming into that more central attacking position. The pressure from Graydon. That's the trigger for Salford City here to try and kick on in an attacking sense. Luo for Minoga. Sese. Salford City throw. It's one of these games where you can feel the excitement, but you can feel the tension as well.
Yeah, I feel like neither team wants to be the first one to really make that big move. Not really willing to open up too much. Either goal will be huge. If it's Salford and it takes the tie away from Grimsby, that'd be massive. And if Grimsby get one back, then why the pressure really is going to land on Salford's toes.
Cooper's header. Drops here for Matt Butcher, who turned 29 yesterday. Smith for McJanet. Nicely done by Garbutt. Well, he's always pensive on the touchline. Often a heart-on-sleeve manager, with the calming influence of Steve Agnew there. So much coaching experience. Alex Bruce, of course, another big part of the Salford City coaching plan. Graydon sent a little wider than he would have wanted. Butcher for Osterfield. Luo away from under the nose of Andy Cook. Cooper. Garbutt. Kelly Namai. Rodgers tried to help him run out of room.
Brilliant defending from Hardy Rodgers. Naturally a centre-back, but he's played right back most of the season. Got himself in the EFL League 2 Team of the Year for his performances there. Gives that physical presence, but he's quick as well. 1v1 defending is good, as he just showcased there against Kelly Namai. They had a real battle in the first 45 minutes in particular in the opening leg. Little wry smile, but excellent defending.
Yeah, 56th appearance of the season for Harvey Rodgers today, 53 of those from the start. One of the main players, and indeed, as you say, the player of the year for the Mariners. Tucked forward for Walker. Minoga trying to help it away. Walker stepping in once again. Goal kick is the call.
An industrious start. Jamie Walker brought into the team this evening after missing out in the opening game. He was a substitute coming on, but probably the most involved Grimsby player, trying to make things happen. David Artel making 3 changes this evening. Also having Charles Vernham and Dara Burns coming into the team, just looking for something a little bit extra, which his team were lacking in that first leg. Charles Vernham in particular, he's had a wonderful season, but missed game late through injury, just coming back fitness. But it's not the time of the season where you can wait for someone to be fit. You've got to chuck them in the team, and he's done that this evening.
Yeah, Charles Vernham with a very good record against City. 2 goals and 2 assists in matches against them this season. Here's Vernham. Helping it through to Green, who had room but ultimately didn't get the ball. physical opening half of the first half.
Yeah, David Artell described the first leg as attritional. Pretty sure we'll be thinking it's exactly the same in this opening 24 minutes. Neither team just having that little bit of quality in the final third at the moment.
Down goes Burns, that's a free kick.
Gambles off that right-hand side onto his left, but Burns and gets there just before Luke Garbett, who's trying to recover in from left back.
Referee's just got some talking to do here. I think there might be some damage to Maldini Katsuri, the Grimsby Town #2. He's already had a fair bit of patching up in order to play today, but it's going to require a bit more and a new shirt too. So David Artell just having to reshuffle a little here because Grimsby down to 10 and needing to make sure that they don't suffer on the counter from here. Here's Rodgers trying to help it on its way with a bit of style. Walker. Charles Vernon now. Plenty waiting for the cross in. Staunton and Vernon again. Not the crossing he was looking for though. Dara Burns. Grimsby still down to 10. Surrey waiting to come back on. And he now re-emerges without name or number. Green after this one. But that will bounce all the way to Young. Grimsby's Young Player of the Year. Maldini Katsuri. Joined the club from Arsenal during the January transfer window. And the countdown has begun from Ben Speedy to Matty Young, just to hurry things up a little. Of course, referees have to time keep now, as well as keep charge of all the other rules. Grimsby free kick for the challenge on Vernon, and they're off and underway swiftly, but the ball was rolled. He is naturally going to have frustrations after what he saw the other day.
They gave the retake for a rolling ball. Doesn't look like it was. Grimsby got away with one. The ball from Jamie Walker was a little bit loose. He's going to go out for a goal kick for Salford, but another opportunity.
Forward by Smith. And that one does exactly the same. Everything is being debated on the field, everything being debated on the touchline as well. David Artell and Alex Bruce deep in conversation. Young, fleet of foot to show it and then whip it away from Andy Cook.
Not sure Carl Roms will be too happy watching Matty Young do that, but it was brilliant, wasn't it? Always dangerous when you use your studs and not the instep to take it back, because it can just slip now and again. He got that perfectly correct though, sending Andy Cook the wrong way. Very confident young goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'd suggest Andy Cook would be happy if that kind of moment repeated itself, whereas Carl Robinson, as you say, perhaps wouldn't be.
He has had a brilliant season again, Matty Young. Coming and playing League Two football at such a young age and being so consistent, so reliable. Doesn't have many moments of madness, which you can see at times from young goalkeepers. Very mature performances.
49th appearance of the season today for him, so his 50th of the campaign, if indeed it comes, would be at Wembley. Fair bit of football to play before Salford City can think in that way, though. Green to take the throw. That was very much a throw Salford City felt they should have had. Playoffs can be won and lost by small margins. But half an hour in, everything being heavily debated around the stadium. Here's Burns. This time it's a ball for the hosts.
Kelly Namai doing his defensive duties. We used to be in that area in the pitch. They played a lot with a back three this season, Salford, and Kelly Namai would find himself in that left wing back area having to defend. And as they move to four at the back, he has pushed higher up the pitch.
Here's Burns, pumping it forward for Vernham. Manoga tracking him all the way. Interesting to see the last 5 minutes and how and where the game is being played.
It has been better from Grimsby. Except before the game, I think they need to be able to retain possession a little bit better in the first leg, and that in turn will help them sustain attacks. And it looks like they're just starting to do that a little bit now. Just taking moments like that on the ball, not rushing it straight back into the Salford box.
Here's Staunton for Vernham. Handling into the middle, where Young is happy to collect. He's just being told from the sidelines here, calm, calm, calm. Don't be too quick to release. There's no rush from a Salford City point of view, of course.
The game's still finely balanced. I'm sure Carl Robinson will be happy with the two managers. Grimsby is starting to just get on the front foot a little bit more. There's been no good chances for Grimsby. Better chance the game did fall Salford's way with that chance of Ryan Graydon. Carl Robinson will be happy if it stays as uneventful as it has been for them defensively.
Graydon on for Sesse with Janet in close attendance. So tight and tense at the moment. There's very little time on the ball. Very few have had composure on it in the middle of the park. Room here for Butcher. Into the mix for Udo and for Cooper, who is guilty of fouling. Katsuri, who's down again.
Brilliant header from Katsuri. Diagonal ball comes in. He has to worry about Danuda running across the front of him. And then he realises that Cooper's coming up and above him from behind. That's a brave header. Knows he's going to get caught.
And one of those moments that can produce some real problems. Offside against Green. He just couldn't retreat for the flick on from Burns. had a 7th placed finish in League Two for Grimsby Town this season, their highest league finish since they were 4th in the 2005-06 campaign. One of those seasons in which they've kept the standards high. Only actually suffered successive defeats once this season, and that was in December against Notts County and Bromley, who have shown during the course of the season that they're two fine sides. Throw not given. Danudo with the pressure applied, and McJanet just slicing it away. I feel like we're right in the thick of things on the touchline here, even though we're a little higher up than the two managers and respective coaches, but there's plenty of discussions going on every time there's something even vaguely debatable. Foul by Sesse.
Yeah, it's a unique stadium, isn't it? Some smaller grounds in League Two. This is so tight, so we're very close to the manager. You can hear everything they're shouting, but then they're so close to the pitch as well. Literally one step away from being on the green grass over that white line. It just makes everything feel a little bit tight, especially with the way the fans are packed in. Full house here as well this evening, making it extra special.
A smile and a cuddle there for Fabio Barini, one of Salford City substitutes. Very much been used largely from the bench this season. Of course, it might be a night for a substitute on either side of the fence. Garbutt's throw. Udo with contact on Rogers. It's fair to say we're waiting for this game to really spring into life, but the way that they've cancelled each other out so far almost just adds to the jeopardy because it's a playoff semi-final. Nights like these make the nerves jangle that little bit more. And the prize on offer being so big. Here's Kelly Newman. Some others galloping on. And the nutmeg was nice, but the defensive recovery was good too.
Yeah, Salford at their best when they counter-attack, turn over the ball in midfield. Danudo quick to get turned free. Kelly Namai down that left-hand side. Lovely little chop back and then a nutmeg, but good recovery from Harvey Rogers. But Salford looks so dangerous when they attack as quickly as that.
Garbutt weighing up his options here. Everybody back in black and white. On from Butcher. Osterfield helping it towards Oluo. Nearly came back to Osterfield again. Monoga for Young. Just gave Andy Cook a sniff of a chance there. Cooper. Ball killed nicely there as he looks for Udo. And for Osterfield. Once again, the pass towards Namai just takes him away from where he wants to be. Garbutt. Namai trying to drive through the gap, but he gives away the goal kick.
Grimsby so quick to double up on Kelly Namai. Dara Burns having to do his defensive work and get back and help Harvey Rogers. Love the directness of Kelly Namai though. Wants to back up defenders into the box. Grimsby know he's a threat. They saw that in the first 45 minutes in particular in the first leg. Dara Burns really helped by Harvey Rogers.
Away by Garbutt. That was a cruncher in the back of Dan Udo. Certainly felt the force there. Hook in the back of Cooper.
Katsuri's not going to back out of those headers, is he? Dan Udo isn't either. Always happy to put his body on the line. He's not happy with it, is he? He's just coming from the blind side a little bit, Udo. Both got eyes on the ball. The left arm from Katsuri catches Dan Udo. Should be a foul, I think. Having to go through the striker to get to the ball.
Well, he's had a few words, Dan Udo. Let's keep an eye on those two together for the next couple of minutes. It's up against Harvey Rogers this time. Last few minutes of the first half. McJanet into no man's land for a moment there until it was picked up by Cook. Green, Burns, well picked off by Mai. He wants to run with it himself. Smith towards Green. Field makes it his. Butcher. Very much you have it, we have it at the moment. Either side really able to keep it.
Both sides defensively are being very well organised, aggressive when they go to press, forcing the opposition back towards their own goal.
And they'll go back there to take a lift from Vernon. Craden now, stepping up the pace for Salford City. Options waiting in the middle. And Cameron McJanet saw it all unfold.
Brian Craden could have just got his head up a little bit earlier. Sesse made a brilliant run across the front of the Grimsby back line, which meant Dan Udo was arriving on the penalty spot. Pretty much free.
On Minoga, or by Minoga on Vernon.
It's committed. The squirrel from Vernon. You imagine it was a little bit too high though. He gets rolled into a bit of a hospital pass. Studs up with that left foot as he slides in. Does he get enough of the ball first? And he does, but the ankle gets just caught underneath from Vernon. That can be a sore one. The pass into him from Staunton wasn't the best one. That just gave Minoga the opportunity to really come in fully committed.
Just had a little look at the referee after he made the challenge just to see if he was safe to get up and walk away. Here's Vernon. Options are plenty in the middle. Just can't get the ball across. Staunton will try. And Young will play routine for him.
They're just running out of ideas, Grimsby, at the top ends of the pitch. They get into good areas, in particular the wide positions, but then just are not willing to really go past somebody or put a cross into the box. They're playing a little bit safe. Salford are so hard working, they'll get up and against them and make it difficult for them, but at some point Grimsby are going to have to take a couple of risks on the ball. Whether that's a little bit of ingenuity, some quick feet, something a little bit special, something off the cuff. But at the moment, it's all a little bit safe.
Final minute of the first half. Team talks will be interesting to see what is said, how it's said, and what perhaps has changed during the course of the interval. Certainly something in the overall equation has to change for Grimsby Town. But there's time aplenty for drama to unfold that would help them on their way to Wembley. Graydon. We're going to play 2 more minutes as a minimum at the end of this half. Huda back for Garbets. Across the field. Forward by Young. Won't be too much time for too much more attacking sense for either of these sides. Quick reboot required here for Kieran Green. Garbets. Smith had to chase after it. It flicked off Walker on its way through. In the shade, the other with the piercing evening sunlight shining right at him. Matty Young just shielding his eyes with his hands. As his side tried to attack, advantage played. As Sese has the ball. And that's half-time. Disciplined defences and a lack of attacking ideas leading to a goalless first half. That suits Salford City with their first leg lead, but also keeps Grimsby Town's dreams alive. The most presentable opportunity falling to Ryan Graydon. A tame effort straight at Jackson Smith. Plenty of discussion on the field and off the field during that first half. But at half-time in the second leg, it's Salford City 0, Grimsby Town 0. Welcome back to the Peninsula Stadium. We have a Salford City manager, we have a Grimsby Town team. We're almost ready to go again for part 2 of part 2. The Ammies now rejoining us in the early evening sunshine, and they've now said all they can say face to face to their players. It's now about how those instructions are carried out and how the tactical tweaks might affect things as we go along.
Yeah, not too much happened in the first half, did it? But fully expect the second half to be very different. Grimsby are going to have to let the handbrake off. They're going to have to go for it at some point. And with that, that will give Salford opportunities as well. Adioluo's won so many first contacts in that first half, and if he continues to do that as Grimsby open up, then Salford get counter-attacking moments, and then can they take the game away from Grimsby? But I'm sure it'll be much more of a blockbuster second half than what that first half was.
Well, sometimes it's easy to criticise, isn't it? But it's also important to remember what's at stake, and these two sides 45 minutes away from Wembley, depending on what they can produce in the second half. Salford City at the moment in the box seat, as we say, after the first leg victory. But Grimsby Town will know they have the ability to turn this around, and they will start us in this second half. The Mariners have won 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two sides, including both matches in League Two this season. And indeed, they're unbeaten in 5 visits here, winning the last 3, so they'll have real optimism that they can do some damage in this second half. But of course, they need to keep players like Ryan Graydon on the ball here, quiet. I hope that if he does get an opportunity, just like in the first half, that he doesn't take it. That's certainly the standout chance so far here tonight. Salford City appeals waved away. Flick on from Cook and from Burns. Luo just managing to shuffle it clear, and in fact he wins a free kick.
They've got Luo, who's a standout player in the first half. His reading of the game is excellent, covers the channels extremely well, shows his strength here. Just gets a pull on the arm from Dara Burns.
So, words for his players at half-time, words for the 4th official straight away in the second half. It's potentially a long evening for Sebastian Stockbridge there. But interestingly, no changes in terms of personnel from either manager during the half-time break. Both relatively happy with their lot, and I suppose it makes sense really, because both sides are still well and truly in this tie.
Absolutely, Salford will be happy. They've looked very solid defensively. Carl Robinson won't want to change that. And Grimsby have been so good in the second half of the season. It's not often they draw a blank and are not able to score. Second top scorers in the league. And think of how they've kicked on since Christmas. They have been the best team in the league. So David Artell will be full of confidence that his team can really spring into life in this second half. You can understand why they weren't too gung-ho in that first half. You don't want to give the game away to Salford, but I'm sure he will still be quietly confident that they can get themselves a spot at Wembley.
Thrown from Minoga as far as Osterfield. Well, this is interesting. The time that either of these two sides had their last attempt, 11 minutes and 15 minutes. It's a fair while ago, that.
It is, and it's almost how the second half played out as well in the first leg. There wasn't too many opportunities. Definitely suits Carl Robinson. So he'll just be waiting for those moments that I spoke about on the counter-attack as Grimsby do start to push more men forward. And then it's about being clinical.
Let's not forget, Grimsby Town won more points than any other team in League Two since Christmas Day. 51 points from 25 games. They were 15th and 8 points off the playoffs before that run. Forced their way in. They won't want to let the opportunity to walk down Wembley Way slip away.
Yeah, improving year on year as well under this man. Their points total this season would have been enough to finish in the top 3 last year. So they can consider themselves a little bit unlucky, but the standard has been very high at the top of League Two this season. And they are the form team coming into these playoffs.
Let's just take a moment as well to appreciate League Two, because it's one of those divisions where there's so much ebb and flow during the season. So much movement, weekend to weekend, Saturday to Tuesday. It's a wonderful division to watch. I'm sure you've enjoyed being part of it as well.
Yeah, it's all about consistency. Just being able to keep performances very level, being good in both boxes. There's a lot of stuff which happens in the middle of the pitch in League Two, which becomes a bit of a non-event. But as soon as it does enter the boxes with that set pieces, crosses, the team who is better in those moments will come out as victors. That's where the quality has been poor in this game so far, which is not like these two teams.
Ryan Graydon, as an example there, furious that the ball didn't come his way.
Yeah, I think he's a player who wants to play through the middle, doesn't he? He played 4-4-2 a lot in the second half of the season. He's been up alongside Danudo. Well, Robinson went to more of a 4-3-3 in the opening leg, using Graydon as an outlet on this right-hand side. Grimsby are very attacking with their fullbacks. They're maybe hoping that Graydon could exploit that. Not doing so well. He's kept his position out there, which is obviously good. You want to play, but I'm sure he'd like to be through the middle with Danudo.
Free kick for the challenge on Sesse, and you mentioned the attacking options as well that have started the game for Salford. Fabio Barini and Cole Stockton are two who stand out on the Salford City bench in terms of attacking prowess should it be needed. And of course Jace Cabia, top scorer for Grimsby Town, on the other bench, could well provide some drama later on.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be long till Jace Cabia comes onto the pitch with a wonderful signing. Real positive of their recruitment strategy, where they have specific metrics which they go and look after. Bringing Jace Cabia from a few leagues below. He's hit the ground running, 17 league goals this season.
A sign from Truro during the course of the summer. His father Jason was an Irish Cup winner with Cork City in his day. From Katsuri, who's got his own shirt, name and number on, and some defensive work to do, helped out by McJanet.
Bouncing ball causing a lot of problems, especially with Danudo and Kelly Namai near the scene. It will not give defenders a moment of peace. And in the end, Cameron McJanet does well just to get back, because if Kelly Namai would have got to that ball first, then Salford would have been in a position where they could really take this game away from Grimsby.
And from Garbett. Lowe looking to attack it. Udo hits it! Salford City tighten their grip on their ticket to Wembley. Advantage grows, as does their belief that this could be their year. That's a huge goal for him, for them, and does some real damage to the Grimsby Town cause.
It's a huge moment. The game was waiting for something to spark it into life, and it's come from the right boot of Danudo. Adioluo so often gets that contact in the box, and it bounces up in the air, and there's a lot for Danudo to do. There's a lot of time for him to think. There's a lot of time for things to go wrong, but he keeps his eye on it. He stays calm. He makes sure that his body shape is in the right position. That left shoulder facing down, right foot through the ball, hits it hard and low. Absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper. Smart finish by Danudo. Salford does the hard work and he gets his moment.
Well, that is massive for the tie, and now requires a big response from those in black and white. Danudo, top scorer for Salford City, but someone who hasn't really found the back of the net all that often in recent times. That strike, well thought out and very well celebrated, understandably. And so, what do Grimsby Town do from here? What can they produce from here? A long, hard season, but they have to step on the gas from here. Forward from McJanet. Luo away. In goes Graydon to frustrate Vernon.
I was just speaking about the importance of both boxes. And Salford get it just right on that occasion. The first contact from Luo does it so well. There's always the threat from set pieces. Makes it difficult. And just being that nuisance, that gave Danudo the opportunity, but what a finish from the striker.
Grimsby Town ball. A little bit of nonsense, which Ben Speedy swiftly sorts out. Vernon. In towards Walker. For Vernon once again. There's a tour. Green. Not exactly where Rogers wanted. Or Green for that matter.
Just right so far for Grimsby. Loose passes. Bringing an end to any hopeful attacks that start to build. Surely this man will be looking at his substitutes bench just for a spark.
How they crave promotion, Grimsby Town, in the third tier of England, 22 years since suffering relegation in 2004. Searching towards Green. That is a goal kick. So many people arrived here waiting for a second leg moment. We've got one now, whether it's the last one.
Yeah, Adiluo competing, gets the better of Harvey Rogers, but there's still a lot for Danudo to do. When the ball is up in the air for that long and you've got to take your time, so easy to snatch it, but Danudo doesn't do that. He has all that hard work that he puts himself through. He deserves the moment.
He's trying to pester the Grimsby Town defenders to get another one there. Sesse versus Staunton. Salford City players in swiftly to protect someone who's had a difficult time of late. Ben Speedy just to calm things down here between the pair. Handshakes in the end, whether they were full or not, doesn't matter really at the moment.
Yeah, Sesse first retained possession in the corner, and just a little bit of afters from Staunton. Both of them react. It's been a tense game, isn't it? There's a lot at stake. I'm just going over the top a little bit there, both players.
Of course, we send our condolences to Callum Sesse and his family after the recent bereavement that they suffered. That was something that made his goal in the first leg all the more emotional. Salford City happy to settle for another throw as we head towards the hour mark.
And this is where Salford were brilliant in the first leg. Once they got their nose in front, they just took their time over everything. Took any momentum that Grimsby were trying to build out by taking the time over throw-ins, free kicks.
In from Butcher and out via Rogers. Grimsby Town need to dig in here and hold on. Luo once again looking to cause trouble from the set play situation. A little bit of a talking to required before the ball can come in. Movement on the Grimsby Town bench as well. More on that in a moment. And from Garbett. Udo is there, Aluo as well. It's another corner, this time from the other side.
Yeah, Harvey Rogers got his work cut out, hasn't he? Saw that for the opening goal, where he almost, well, he did win the first bit of the battle, but headed it on to Aluo, who's up and over the top of him. And on that occasion, he wins the ball first, but only out for another corner kick.
Comes the corner, oh, it's rattled the woodwork. Aluo it was. And the offside flag raised in the end, I think, as bodies were tumbling, and the post is still vibrating.
Yes, that man again, Aluo, at the heart of it. Harvey Rogers goes to ground early, he's claiming a foul. And really, Adi Aluo, once he gets into that position, you see he frees himself, he's 6 yards out. He's not really looking at the ball, he lets it hit the back of his head. Crashes against that far post. That could have been tie over.
Double change here for Grimsby. It's the end for Gazeturi in the middle of the park, and Jays Cabia, top goal scorer, enters the action. And Justin Amaluthor also on for Dara Burns. But it is a point in the game where Grimsby Town now really need to focus on the attacking side and making things happen in that final third. Not a great record, as you can see, for Grimsby Town when they concede the opening goal this season. Really struggled to bounce back. The only victory, the 7-1 thumping of Cheltenham Town.
Can't see a repeat of that.
That was quite the recovery, even though it was the only one.
But they scored 2 goals here when they played back in October. It was a 2-0 victory for Grimsby. So they know they can do it.
Manoga's throw up towards Udo, beaten to it by Walker. Staunton down. Here's McJanet. Staunton with Graydon holding on a little. Walker, now Vernon. Jackson Smith to hit it long. Well, now they could be in here. Amaluthor with Cabia waiting for it. And Aluo watched it all.
Excellent positioning from Adi Aluo. Really has had a standout game at the heart of that defence. Amaluthor gets in down that right-hand side. See from Green, Cook helps it on. Amaluthor, bit of a heavy touch to the byline. That's off the angle as well, read by Aluo.
Away by Young. Sesse galloping onto it. Lamai for company, and Udo as well in the middle. Graydon screaming for it as well. Back to Osterfield. He's happy to switch it. Graydon always good in the air. Udo and Sese. And they've got a touch. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, Salford fastest play really in the game. Keep the ball, big diagonal from Osterfield. Good early leap from Graydon. Excellent hold-up play from Udo. Sese arriving at the right time. Deflected shot.
Everybody back in black and white. They can't afford anything to go wrong from a situation such as this. Huo once again so dangerous in the air. The Mariners survive. And look long for Cabia. Dumped to the ground by Walker.
Frustrations from Grimsby. A little bit over eager from Jamie Walker. Minogue gets his body in a good position. It's horrible when a game's going away from you. You can't wrestle control of it.
And it's a whole season's work, of course. This is the misery that the playoffs can give you when you're so close to glory. Time is ticking away. Graydon's turn. This is Walker and Vernon. Minogue, neatly done. Not once but twice. And the heels were clipped.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Salford are doing a brilliant job of just dictating the tempo of this game. Buying fouls. Minogue once again, the man who wins that foul. And Salford just take their time over these set pieces. Allow that clock to run down.
Now, Luke Garbett is quite handy from these kind of positions. It's a fair way out in some ways, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to tuck this inside the post. He's gone for glory. But Jackson Smith comfortable. As indeed at the other end is Matty Young. Janet away. Graydon keeps it in. Only for Smith to collect. Back it goes to Smith. Well, we knew that this second half we needed to see plenty more from Grimsby. We just haven't seen it yet, Dave.
They just haven't had the answers, have they? Very one-dimensional, unfortunately, for those away fans who are packed out behind Jackson Smith's goal. Just haven't been able to sustain attacks. Had a bit more of the ball, but haven't been able to do anything with it in the final third. At a time when you thought they were really just going to go for it.
And from Vernon. That's a free kick for the challenge on McJanet. It only takes a spark, though, doesn't it? A moment to change the course of a game like this. It can feel like a solid lead, but Grimsby Town needs something to grab hold of here, something to ignite the belief more than anything.
And whilst Grimsby haven't been at their best going forward, Salford have been terrific defensively. The back line has been well marshalled. Not left any gaps, aggressive at winning those first contacts. Midfield boys doing their job in front.
Staunton's free kick. Where's it going to drop? A couple of players tumble. Walker tries to hit it. And Namai tries to escape with it. Udo now for Namai. For Sese, it's a Lovely ball. It was a difficult one to control, though. He's got it now and escapes from Vernon, who brings him down, and the yellow card is on its way. Salford got the bit between their teeth. And as Grimsby push more bodies forward, these are the moments they're going to have to deal with on the counter-attack. Udo and Namai breaking out, crossfield ball to Sese. Just his pace and his athleticism was too much for Charles Vernon. Wins the side of foul, and again, it's time they can just relax, take their time over the free kick. Get the red shirts up and around the box, but also making sure they ring it out as well, so Grimsby can't get out easily. Garbutt setting this one up. The vast majority back here for Grimsby Town. Only Jace Cabiot ready to launch the counter. Garbutt with a fair bit of force, seen away by Walker. Amalusor now. Stopped by Aluo. Manoga bringing down Cabiot. And there'll be a break now, while Grimsby Town make another alteration. Jamie Walker will make way. And we're going to see George McEachran. Hasn't played since the 21st of March. And he picked up an ankle injury in the big win against Barrow.
Well, he will be able to get on the ball for them in midfield and try and knit together a few passes just to try and sustain some attacks, create some different angles from the centre of that pitch. And Jamie Walker's actually had a decent enough game. He's put in a lot of effort. He's tried to make things happen.
Amalusor. Vernon there with him, and McEachran here. Being tested by Garbutt, who ultimately sends him all the way back. Jackson Smith spotted a bit of space for Staunton. This is Green trying to release Vernon. Osterfield away. Green on the spin. Staunton searching for Cook, and the miscontrol from Garbutt is costly.
Yeah, so much better from Grimsby. George McEachran at the heart of it. A few nice little touches in the build-up. Willing to bring the ball down and play it forward rather than just trying to help it back into an area. A little bit more guile. Let's set up this corner.
In it swirls. Oh, and in it goes. Now then. The goal they craved. The lifeline they needed. Parity on the night. Grimsby Town have their say in the second leg.
Yes, the captain so often has those big movements. Clever little run at the front post from the midfielder. Darts out, isn't picked up, and the faintest of touches. That is a wonderful header from Kieran Green. So often the man they go to for goals. It is a delightful little header as he disappears off the back of those Salford shirts. Caby is on the scene in the middle, but terrific header from Kieran Green.
Tell you what, there's an interesting discussion going on here as to, first of all, who got the final touch and whether it was off a head or a hand. Green certainly with a tremendous header, but the question is what part of Cabier, if any, did it hit? They've got a false start on the kickoff as well, so plenty to take in.
Orkabia reaching out his left arm. Does it change the direction of the ball? Does he get a touch on it? He's not in an offside position. Oh, it does just clip his elbow, doesn't it? It was going in anyway, he didn't need to do it. Grimsby didn't have much luck in the first leg with referee's decision. Maybe they got a little bit of luck on this occasion. And this tie is well and truly back on.
And Kelly Namai's kicked his final ball of the evening. It's going to be Kadeem Harris, who makes a rare appearance in Salford City colours. Just 3 appearances since December due to injury. Final 15 minutes of the 90. The question is, will it be the final 15 minutes of the night? There is now belief in the Grimsby Town dugout, and perhaps a few nerves in that of Salford City.
And more than a few, I think. Carl Robinson, it's been a pretty perfect defensive performance. It's the first time that Grimsby have won that first contact in the box. Brilliant from Kieran Green. I can't explain how good that is, the movement off the goalkeeper in the middle of the goal just to evade all those Salford shirts, and then once he gets there, it's such a tight angle. He knows the pace is on it, so he's just got to guide it. That's a terrific header.
Huge final 15 minutes. Maybe not the end, maybe the beginning of the drama. This is Vernon. Orkabia amongst plenty who are ahead of him. Amolusor. Picked off by Salford City and Kadeem Harris. He has Udo, and he has Graydon, and he has Sese up with him. And he had 2 to tangle with. Butcher, Udo, Sese, dribbles wide.
Udo and Sese link up play again. Then Udo good back to goal, sets Sese. He has Graydon to his right, he wanted it, used him as a decoy. Just drags his shot at the vital moment.
There's McJanet, on to Vernon. Strolling through, looking for Amolusor, and Green. Oh, and Orkabia! Wow! From nowhere! Grimsby Town are level! The Peninsula Stadium stunned! That is playoff football in a nutshell.
Wow. You have to love the playoffs. Out of nowhere, Grimsby have just not been in this game, but they sparked into life at the vital moment. Excellent touch from Vernon. Drives across the pitch. And Malazor, little touch right in the corner. Once again, Kieran Green running from midfield. Flashed it across. Orkabia gets the run on Aluo and Minoga. Is he onside though? It's close. Smart finish. Good work from Kieran Green. Flash it across. Orkabia right place, right time. But did he go too early? David Artel will not care. Those Grimsby fans will not care. And we are back to all square in this tie.
And now it's all about what's in the head as much as what you can do with your feet. How are Salford City feeling? How are Grimsby Town feeling? And where on earth is this tie going in the final 11 minutes or so?
How are you feeling?
Confused. Looked like the route was opening up for Salford City to wander down Wembley way. But so often the playoffs don't work that way.
It's just wild how quickly the atmosphere can change in a stadium. All of a sudden you feel the nerves from the home fans, but the away fans behind Jackson Smith's goals, they are in absolute raptures. It was quite some scene looking over at them when that second goal went in. Special moment for them making the trip.
In from Garbutt. Sesse thought about winding up for it. This is Butcher, and now Udo fizzing that one across. Manoga. I think the Salford City bench frustrated he just didn't throw a boot at that one. Took a touch and the chance disappeared. Manoga's throw. Away to Cabia. Staunton with the slip. Sesse with the flick. This is Graydon from Udo. And away via McJanet. That will slip away from Cabia. It's always an absolute pleasure to be involved in games like this. But when you're watching on as a neutral, it's easy to say that and feel that. It's when you're at the heart of it, when your team is involved, it can be absolute torture.
Absolutely. And there'll be thousands of Grimsby fans sat on their sofas watching this game tonight who would love to have been inside the stadium. Could have sold the stadium out themselves, I think.
Udo now in behind McJanet for a moment. Helping it across for Harris. Butcher winding up, and the bodies throwing themselves in the way.
Yeah, Kasuri and McJanet both flying at the feet of Butcher to block that cross.
What an emotional ride this tie has been over the two legs for various different reasons. In from Garbutt. Out by Katsuri. Harris! Oh. Well, on a night like this, in a situation like this, you wouldn't have betted against that one, just dipping under the crossbar.
Yeah, just for a moment, it looked like he got the trajectory just right, whips it up and over those players. Looked like it was dipping, but not quite in time.
Well, certainly complaints from Grimsby Town in the first leg about that second Salford City goal. There might well be some similar thoughts from Robinson and his coaching staff surrounding the Grimsby Town comeback here. Manoga. McEachran blocking the path to goal.
He's made a big difference, George McEachran, since he's come on.
Well, it doesn't matter how many games you've played in this sport, what your feeling is for one or both of the clubs, or indeed the coaches of those clubs. Bruce, junior in the dugout, senior in the stands. It's a tense night, which could still go any which way.
Salford seems to have regrouped. And just getting back into their rhythm of making Grimsby defend their box. Not allowing them to clear of any sort of certainty. That's allow Salford to keep loading it up all the time. Can they find Adioluo?
All sorts going on in that penalty area. So the free kick is Grimsby Town's. But what of these goals scored by Jays Cabier.
Yeah, controversial. Brilliant from Green. Left arms up. Does look like it hits his elbow. So that's the first complaint. And is Jays Cabier offside? So difficult to tell from that angle. If you look at the cut of the line in the grass, it's very, very close. But David Artell was not happy about decisions in the first leg. A throw-in that was given for the first goal, an offside for the second goal. Isn't it funny how football always seems to even itself out?
And that certainly is the way we are numerically now on aggregate, 3-3. We're 5 minutes plus added time away from extra time. Unless Harris back for Garbutt. With a fair bit of height on that, and too much for Minoga to do. So much to digest from this tie, which at times has been rather sleepy, but in other moments rather headline-making. Who do you turn to on your bench now if you're either Carl Robinson or David Artell, or do you leave it as it is?
Yeah, it looks like Carl Robinson's going for a little bit of experience. Barini coming on. Also Ben Woodburn getting stripped as well. Two players of immense quality, especially at this level. And can they provide the moment of magic that is going to be required to send the home team to Wembley?
It's loose and pounced on by Cabier. McEachran, Vernon, Cabier again. Thought about launching one, I think. Just about got a touch on the ball. Grimsby down with a bit firmly between their teeth here. Vernon still going. Trying to flash that across to someone else in stripes.
Yeah, again, it's George McEachran with the pass whipped out to Vernon with real pace. That gives him more time to be able to run at Minoga. A little chop, which he so often does. Flash it across, and Adialuo once again head on the cross.
Amaluzor trying to wiggle his way through. And got himself into a decent position to gain some sort of reward.
Yeah, he did the hard bit by being able to roll Luke Garbutt and get himself into position, then just a little bit rash with the cross.
Salford City changes Woodburn for Osterfield. Ben Woodburn, who came on in the first leg, his only appearance since early March. Someone who played under Carl Robinson on loan at Oxford United from Liverpool a few years back. Butcher takes it away from Cabier. Sesse with McEachran. Pulling and pushing from both. And Ben Speedy, the referee, brings it back for the earlier pull by McEachran. Hurtling towards the 90th minute. And there'll be a fair few added on once we get through the next minute or so. Woodburn forward, straight to Smith. Vernon away from Woodburn all too easily. Oh, down goes Amaluzor. He felt he was tugged to the ground. Harris in sharply. And the foul given in Salford City's favour. Well, from a position of real authority in the tie, Salford City suddenly nervy and holding on. Now they could do with someone of the quality and experience of Paul Scholes on the park. 6 minutes to add on. Who knows what's going to happen in 6 minutes. Tactically, what do you do now? Mentally, what do you instill in your players now? Some players who have played a huge role in an enormous season. Minoga out off Vernon from our position here, but it's gone to Grimsby. He honestly thought it was Grimsby's ball, but from our position here it very much looked the other way. But this tie's had plenty of ebb and flow, and this way and that way. Kavia, Alua with him, goal kick. Well, having had the cut and thrust of getting level and aggregate, there's an element of wanting to be calm now, isn't there, with where Grimsby Town are, but the other part of David Artell will want his side to keep on pushing. McEachran to slide in on Udo. This is Harris. And Garbett. Jackson Smith with safe hands.
Yeah, good hands from Jackson Smith. Just looked like Salford had the overload, but look how quickly the Grimsby players are across the box. And it's Garber who you want it to land to, but it's a little bit safe with his shot. Trying to guide it back towards that near post.
Offside is given here.
Good play from Grimsby though, ball into Kavia. Just Harvey Rogers run from deep, just goes a little bit too early. Kavia is actually just offside himself.
Possibly Rogers as well.
Yeah, both very tight.
Graydon. Minoga. Woodburn now. That's a Grimsby ball. They won't want that whistle to go. They just want the game to carry on if they don't get a winner in the next couple of minutes. McEachran. Back for Staunton. Up and away from Smith. Foul given against Cook. Harvey Rogers is down here for Grimsby Town. There are a fair few out there now feeling the stresses and the strains of the night and the season.
Yeah, just the occasion as well. That can really lend into some feelings of cramp coming along, a bit more tired than what he usually would be with so much at stake. Was he feeling that pressure, betraying it in strange ways?
Hit by Young. Into the mix towards Sese, and Away by Green. This might well be the last push forward by either side as the clock ticks down. Garbutt to Butcher. And again. Easily seen away by Green. Launched in for Olowu, and a strike from Harris finds the car park.
Yeah, saw the headlines there. Deem Harris bounced nicely for him, but just rushed the finish, cut underneath the ball. Where does Carl Robinson feel now? Feel like he's either throwing the game away, or is it Grimsby have deserved to get back into it? Need to lift themselves now, going into extra time though.
And that's it for now. How do you begin to sum up a tie like this? A match that at times had very little in it of any real note, and then exploded to life. A tie over two legs shrouded in controversy. Jays Cabia with a real impact from the bench, although the goals scored by him questionable, some would say. Grimsby Town, though, have hauled themselves back into proceedings here and have set up quite the night in the northwest. It seemed like it was all under control from a Salford City point of view, but the Mariners are right back in the mix. 2-1 to Grimsby Town on the night, 3-3 on aggregate. It is extra time for these two now.
Yeah, Salford was so in control, weren't they, before Grimsby got that first goal back. They were managing the game extremely well. Grimsby were limited to very little, but substitutes came on for Grimsby, made a difference. A few moments of quality, a lot of controversy as well, it wrapped into there, but what a wonderful tie over the two legs. This evening has definitely been a game of two halves. If you take the first half of the first leg and the second half of the second leg, you'd have had an unbelievable 3-3 draw with all that controversy. It's the second half of the first leg, and the opening 45 here this evening were very mundane. But we're glad it has sparked into life. The atmosphere has been brilliant from both sets of fans, and it really could go either way.
Well, a fascinating evening, a fascinating tie for so many reasons. And the goals tonight have been intriguing to watch in all sorts of ways. This a fine finish from Dan Udo to seemingly set Salford City on their way to Wembley.
Yeah, seems an eternity ago now, but good ball into the box, well competed from Olowu. And Dan Udo, excellent finish, had to wait for it, kept his eye on it, control, terrific volley. As it comes to his right foot, cuts across it slightly, keeps it down. Absolutely no chance for Jackson Smith in that Grimsby goal. And then the game just changed. Set piece in. Kieran Green with a wonderful header, good move at the front post. But does Cabia play his part as Cabia gets a touch on it? So he'll be awarded the goal, but where has this touch come from? Just from his elbow, and that takes into goal, and that's the first bit of controversy, which I'm sure Salford fans and Carl Robinson won't be happy with. But Grimsby used that momentum. Good work from Vernon, good touch around the corner. Kieran Green once again with a deep run from midfield, flashed it across the box. Cave in the right place at the right time to get that vital second goal. But once again, did Cabia just go a little bit too early? Green's definitely onside, just turns, puts it into a dangerous area. If you look at the cut of the grass and where the left leg of Brandon Cooper is in relation to Cabia's left shoulder, it's extremely tight. Too hard for me to call with my eyes. Look at that replay, but it's set up a grandstand finish.
Of course, no VAR in the semi-finals of the playoffs. VAR in the finals in the past few years. Now the question is, where does this tie go from here? Of course, the pre-match housekeeping has to be redone as we head towards extra time, as some grab last-minute instructions. We're going to see a change as well for Salford City, with Fabio Borini waiting in the wings here. And those in red will hope that he has the impact from the bench that Grimsby Town's centre-forward has had. He has very much been a support act since signing here. It's going to come on for Ryan Graydon. 31 appearances for Salford City before tonight, 29 of those from the bench, and all 5 of his goals for the club scored as a substitute. Of course, we know him from his Premier League days. He's also been in Serie B playoffs with Sampdoria the last couple of seasons, and he's helped Swansea City win the Championship playoff final against Reading 15 years ago. So plenty of previous. What about the present? So we go again. 2 legs, can't split them, so 30 minutes more will try and do the job, or it's penalty kicks for Wembley. Offside against Fabio Borini. How do these two sides approach this now? Who wants to quicken the pace? Who wants to gamble? Does anybody?
Yeah, that's the problem now, isn't it? You do expect there to be a little bit of a lull, potentially, as both teams try to just navigate their way through this opening 15 minutes, this first period of extra time. Again, you don't want to give too much away. It's almost like the first half all over again. But then will somebody take a risk? Will it be a mistake which costs somebody? Anything can happen in this extra 30 minutes. And really, no managers would want penalties.
With all due respect, we don't want the first half all over again, do we?
Absolutely not. Second half made up for it, though.
Certainly a fair bit of drama in that second period, rightly or wrongly. His side were down and out. Season was over. And then all of a sudden it came back to life. Manoga. Heels were clipped by Green, who gets booked.
Good play from Manoga. Bit fortuitous the way it lands at his feet, then he drives forward, and Green with a cynical foul.
A set-piece situation for Salford City to embrace here. If there is a next goal in this game, it would be pivotal, it would be painful for whoever concedes. In from Woodburn, out via Green. Super header. And he produced one of those for the first of the 2 Grimsby goals. The night well and truly drawing in. Rogers. Aluo above Kabia. Neat and tidy from Harris till it was given away. Amaluzor digging it out for Kabia. On a hat-trick, so you can understand him swinging for it.
Yeah, substitute to substitute. Amaluzor looking live down that right-hand side, finds Kabia. Good first touch. Just snatches at it slightly as he drags it across. Matty Young was well across his goal and had it covered. He's enjoying his cameo though, Jace Kabia.
He certainly had a big old impact from the bench. Not just with the goals scored, but mentally for those in black and white, having their top scorer on with them. Let's just remind you that, of course, this is only half the story when it comes to the League Two playoff semi-finals. The other half being played out at Meadow Lane, where it's currently Notts County 0, Chesterfield 0 on the night. Half an hour to play, and as it stands, Notts County will be heading to Wembley due to Jaden Luca's goal in the first leg. Smartly taken finish it was too. That's live now on Sky Sports Football. Long from Young. Up in the air from Green. Away via Staunton. Seems a long, long time ago that he powered one into the Salford City net after 26 seconds.
It certainly does. Wonderful strike it was. He's angling the side-foot volley into that top corner. Lifted the roof off Blundell Park. Didn't last for long though.
Unconventional from Harris. He's managed to escape with it and draw the foul. Grimsby Town crying obstruction.
Yeah, not sure the rule behind that. Is it obstruction when you trap it between your knees? Good ingenuity though from Kadeem Harris. Yeah, you're not having the ball, I'm taking it with me. And then jumps across Harvey Rogers to draw the foul.
Well, it was known as the Blanco, wasn't it, when it was between your ankles, after the Mexican winger who used to bunny hop with the ball between his feet. Tweaked slightly there by Kadeem Harris. Flicked on by Cooper. But Janet with a touch on it. Some, I think, claims for a penalty kick, but very quickly waved away, and it is a goal kick instead.
Yeah, Aluwo wins that first contact once again, and then that just gives Salford an opportunity to land on the second ball. Green gets the first one, and then Ben Woodburn with a loose first touch tries to leave his left leg out to draw in some contact, but it wasn't there from Staunton.
Here's Green. Oh, it sat up beautifully for him. And he's more than capable of firing those home.
Oh, big chance. So he's cramped up in the process. Good flick on from Andy Cook. And once again, Kieran Green making that run from midfield, ghosts in off the back of Matt Butcher. And he had a chance because Matty Young wasn't quite in the right position in the goal. You see, he leaves that front post open and just chops across it. A player of his form and his goal-scoring record, you expect him to hit the target.
Salford City's turn to attack. Swung over towards Harris, who tried to take it down neatly but couldn't. You mentioned Kieran Green. I mean, his last 11 games before tonight, 6 goals and 4 assists. He's scored against Salford in the past. He's got 15 for the season.
And he's in a world of trouble at the moment. He keeps cramping. Looked like he did for that goal, and he just went up for a header as well. And cramped down again. Just gesturing that towards David Artello, who's asking if he was okay. but a real captain's performance, especially in that second half. He's the one driving his team forward, winning headers defensively. He's the one running beyond Andy Cook as well, and hence why his body is just starting to give up on him a little bit.
And once that sets in, it's so difficult to shrug off.
It is, but David Artell will not want to take his captain off the pitch under no circumstances.
All sorts of instructions being barked towards the players from both dugouts here. Powered in by Staunton, but too close to Young. He immediately looks for the counter. And Sesse just couldn't take it in his stride. Just ran out of steam. As Grimsby Town players got back to him. Rogers here with Harris, just caught his heels.
A break down the right-hand side. Rogers couldn't quite get on the end of it. A loose pass from Grimsby. Team Harris working back. All the wingers have worked extremely hard for both teams, and the substitutes who have come on, really doing their defensive duties. Testament to how hard working both these sets of players are.
On towards Udo. Bounces off Green. Barini trying to make it his. Amaluzor met by Garbett. Cabia. Nicely worked from him. And Cooper in the way for Salford City. You mentioned the effort put in by both sides. We have had times in the game when there's not been too much being produced. A lot of that is due to the work rate, due to the commitment to the cause.
Absolutely, both teams are so quick to close down the opposition, and that forces the man in possession to go backwards, back to the goalkeepers. It feels like nothing's happening, but defensively they've all been doing their job, and it is taking its toll.
Here's McJanet. Surrey forwards. Cook it was tangling with Aluo. Udo and McJanet. Oh! And Smith had to be on his toes there. Quite a few eyes were on the off-the-ball scuffle between Udo and McJanet.
Yeah, fantastic from Udo once again. So what he does, not allow the centre-back to win the ball, gets his body in, and then Barini tries to catch Jackson Smith off his line, but fortunately for Grimsby, he had a good starting position and was able to get back.
That would have made some headlines if Fabio Barini had scored from there. Oh, he's had so much to celebrate through his career. A fine player when he was in the Chelsea Youth Academy, before, of course, going on to have the career he's had. Cabia trying to use that energy, those fresh legs, compared to many on the field. Malusor and Garbett used all his experience there to get between man and ball.
Yeah, once again, as soon as he felt there's going to be a little bit of contact, threw himself to the floor. Amaluzor just going behind him. Yeah, there's not a lot in his, a little touch on his arm. That was enough to send himself to the floor. And the referee's always going to give those ones.
Well, if they don't get through tonight, Salford City, they will think about what might have been for various reasons. all of a sudden we're very nearly halfway through extra time. This is where time disappears and the dreaded penalty kick lottery can loom large. Green and Harris. Grimsby ball. Amaluzor. Cook didn't know too much about the flick. McEachran. Green didn't want the extra work there. Absolutely full-blooded. Barini. Trying to open it up for Woodburn. Idea was right.
Yeah, just the execution of the pass wasn't quite there. Poor Kieran Green was trying to stay with the fresh legs of Barini as well. Really is a beaten man in the heart of that pitch.
He is drawing on anything he possibly can to keep going here. McJanet up and away. Cooper under it with Cook. Here is Green. Cook trying to spin away and looks for Amaluzor, who winds up to hit it, and Cook does as well. He just couldn't get his angles right with the last kick of the first half of extra time. So many players out on their feet, some tumbling to the ground as their head coaches try and G them up for a little bit more. They have given everything this season and tonight as well. But it's all about what these players have left in the final 15 minutes and perhaps beyond.
Yeah, the legs are weary. The minds will be tired as well. Players cramping. Kieran Green, Andy Cook for Grimsby. Say Salford look the fresher team, I think. Grimsby have given absolutely everything. Fought their way back into this game. And now it's all about who's willing to really take that risk in the final third, who's willing to go and win the game for their team, or are they happy to be a player that just doesn't want to make a mistake, wants to play it safe and let it run out into penalty. The lottery of penalties, the best players be the one who want to stand up and be counted and say, I'm going to go and win this game for my team. It's just going to be fascinating to see which players are going to try to stand up to the plate in this second half of extra time.
Well, this is where words can make the difference. They can just mentally lift players for the final push. Let's not underestimate the value of electrolytes and the like, just to add that little bit of extra. And a massage doesn't go amiss at this point either, as some players are finding out. This is where you look to your leaders, as well as those who have the ability to win the game all on their own.
Yeah, there's not a lot the coaches and the managers can do at this point. They can rally them, they can try and find a little bit more fire out of them. But really, the players are spent and they've given everything. Both sets of players said the attitude has been phenomenal from both Salford and Grimsby. And like I said, if it's not going to go down to penalties, it's going to come down to a moment of magic or a mistake.
So Tyrell Warren will come on for Grimsby Town here, once of Salford City, albeit he never actually made an appearance for the club. He was on the books for a season a few years ago, had loan spells at Radcliffe and at Boston. Former Manchester United youngster who played for Grimsby against United in the Carabao Cup earlier this season, scored his penalty. Scored in the game as well. Now he comes on to try and help the Mariners over the line. "15 minutes to find a winner, or to the spot we go for a place at Wembley." Woodburn unable to find a way past Staunton. What have they got left to give? Staunton taking a breath before he takes the throw. On from Cook and from Amalusor. Both head coaches with deep breaths, trying to keep themselves calm amongst the chaos.
It's right up there!
You can hear what it means. Not so much the words, but the tone. Always helpful when the words are clean for TV as well. Barini leaves it for Manoga. Everybody back for Grimsby Town. Crucially, Adeoluo forward for Salford City, who's so good in moments like this. Up and away from Vernon. Garbutt back forward. Amalusor trying to make it his against his opposite number, Harris. Cabia. Vernon taking on Woodburn. Woodburn got a touch to it, but it's Staunton's ball. Fizzed across, not held by Young. But crucially it was in the end.
Amalusor was the man. It dropped to in the heart of the box. Fortuitous the way it finds itself to Staunton. Dangerous delivery, not convincing from Young, and Amalusor with a big moment. Straight at the goalkeeper.
We've been talking about the pain that Kieran Green's been trying to drive through, but I think it's just caught up with him.
Yeah, Salford had a free kick into the box and he went up to try and win the header, cramped up, and inadvertently then was playing everyone offside as he couldn't, onside I should say, as he couldn't get to his feet, and then he hauled into midfield and his hamstring is in a lot of trouble. I do think it is just cramp, which is what David Artell will be hoping for, because if they do get through to the final, he will be a key man.
He has soldiered on, but the pain is taking hold now. He was heavily involved in the first goal for Grimsby Town of the night.
Yeah, terrific run from Green, lovely touch. Cabby had got that touch just in front of the goalkeeper, but I just love the work from Green. As an attacking midfielder myself, who used to like to get on the end of crosses, have a lot of time for a player like him who breaks the box. It's a bit of a dying breed. You don't really see midfielders breaking through the heart of the box anymore, winning their headers off corners like that. Terrific performance from the captain, and he has given absolutely everything for that black and white jersey this evening.
He leaves the field a broken man physically, and now he will lend his vocal support to his side to see if they can get the job done. Clark O'Dore, his replacement. So we'll restart with the ball in the hands of Young. Oh, that's gone the wrong way from Warren, but Jackson Smith read it all the way. Could still be a big night for goalkeepers, of course. Barini. Woodburn. This is Garbutt. And Harris. Garbutt to swing it over. Staunton away as far as Minoga. And now Woodburn on the swivel. Where's it going? It's Barini. Met by Tyrell Warren. He had to throw everything at that. Barini again. On from Butcher and out by Amalazor.
Vital interception from Tyrell Warren at the back post as it dropped to Barini. It looked like he was going to pull the trigger and get his goal. Good ball into the box from Woodburn. Flashes across a few bodies. Salford, I think, do look the fresher, don't they? They look the team which are more capable of bursting into sprints here and there, landing on more second balls. Is that going to be important now, going into these last 8 minutes?
In it goes long. Amalazor away. This is Harris. Not once, but twice. Cavia can release the pressure. Barini wants a free kick he's not going to get. The clock just keeps on ticking as time runs out for either side to grab a winner. Cooper's header. Grimsby's throw. McEachran, one of those who potentially is full of running. It's not the kind of pass he wanted to pick, though. Woodburn. Minoga met by Vernon. Butcher. And it goes for a Grimsby ball. Cavia. O'Dore forward. Goes Alua. Up and out via Cooper. Thoughts may well have turned to picking players out for that all-important potential penalty battle.
And as a player on the pitch, you're starting to think about it as well, just a little bit. As you see the clock creeping closer and closer to the full-time whistle, you're starting to position yourself. Am I going to be one of those ones who takes the penalty? Trying to get your mind around that. Undoubtedly, it's going to be a nerve-wracking moment. It could be a pivotal moment.
Udo. Spreading it beautifully for Harris. Garbutt trying to dart through the gap. Xavier's taken it off him though. Amaluzor there to help. Garbutt scurrying back. That will be Young's ball. Salford City are preparing Cole Stockton. Maybe this is with penalty kicks in mind. He has scored 5 goals in his last 5 games against Grimsby Town.
It's an attacking change. I think Matt Butcher would have been a penalty taker as well, but bring on a striker for a midfielder just means that Sesse is going to drop back alongside Ben Woodburn. Not the most defensive pair of midfielders that you'll see.
Smith comes out to meet this one. Of course, when we talk about penalties, it wasn't Jackson Smith who was in goal for Grimsby Town in that famous night against Manchester United. Earlier this season, it was Christy Pym, who is the substitute goalkeeper for Grimsby tonight. Manoga's throw. This is Stockton. Oh, this could roll through to Sesse. In he goes! In he goes for Salford City! From a position of peril to a position of promise. Just another chapter in the gloriously chaotic world of the playoffs. And with time ticking away, Salford City may well be on their way to Wembley all over again.
Pandemonium at the Peninsula. Incredible scenes. Coaching staff and substitutes flying onto the pitch. And it's the youngster Callum Sesse with the golden moment. Stockton does well, and a lazy boot from McJanet just allows a loose pass to fall into the path of Callum Sesse. He takes his time, he doesn't rush, he's under pressure from Tyrell Warren. Excellent first touch, composes himself for the second and shifts it past a helpless Jackson Smith. Jubilation from the hierarchy, and what a moment for Salford City.
A remarkable tie, a remarkable emotional ride for everyone concerned, particularly for that young man who's been through so much recently away from football. A scorer of a goal in the first leg, a scorer of the goal perhaps in the second.
You see the emotion. It's been for a very tough time recently. He's a huge part of this squad. Carl Robinson thinks the absolute world of him. I spoke to him before the first leg. Says he's a special talent. And he has just produced one of Salford's biggest ever moments.
So is there anything left for Grimsby Town, who have clawed their way back into proceedings already tonight? But time is hugely against them now. It's the throw from Thumb. Flick on up towards Vernon. Staunton with him. It's a Grimsby ball. Farm across again. Salford City wait to celebrate. There'll be a fair few minutes added on. It's about their resolve now as much as anything. Salford City trying to manage the game. Grimsby Town desperately searching for something, anything at this point. Farm waiting to throw it. Chaos in the middle. Young with a big punch. In from Tharm again. Sesse trying to lead the break. This is Woodburn. This is Harris. Still going, but he brought down McEachran.
Brilliant defending from McEachran. Under an enormous amount of pressure. Grimsby just need to keep loading the ball forward. Make Salford defend.
Down goes Vernon. Staunton with the delivery. Halfway through the added 3 minutes. Danudo can't watch so many in his way in Salford City colours. Offside is the call. That's not the end. As you were, everybody, and those who shouldn't be on the field should know better.
Yeah, still going to be another couple of minutes. Lots of breaks in this added on time. Salford have managed the tie really well, barring a crazy 5 minutes in that second half. And they're going to do the same again now. They're so close, so close.
They can't quite believe what they've seen tonight, or what they might see in the short-term future. Up towards Stockton, who is scrapping for it and is penalised. This will be surely the last thump forward. Warren for Tharm, who call Minoga. And that might well see them over the line. Both head coaches tonight have kicked every ball, metaphorically. I think most people in the stadium have, in fairness.
Carl Robinson not feeling much sympathy for Minoga, screaming, get him up, get him up. He does not want to lose a man this late in the game. Danudo, so important to this team. He knows they're close. He got the vital first goal. He's the only one sitting down on that Salford bench. Everyone else is on their feet waiting for the big moment.
Long from Young. Salford City just want the whistle. Grimsby Town just want another chance. There's the whistle. It's the biggest step forward yet on the Salford City adventure as Wembley awaits. London's calling for the Ammies, who are a game away from League One for the first time in their history. Their rise up the ranks hits a new height and opens another door of promotion possibility. What a titanic tussle over 2 legs. So much to digest, so much to enjoy and endure. Grimsby Town gave it everything and clawed their way back into the tie as controversy reigned supreme. But it is Salford City who emerge victorious after an exhausting evening, physically and emotionally for all involved. Callum Sese stepping forward to grab the winning goal, to grab the biggest goal in Salford City's history. And now they have a final under the arch to look forward to. An incredible tie over 2 legs and extra time as they knocked on the door of penalties. But in the end, they just about got the job done. The playoffs at its finest once again. And there's more to come for Carl Robinson and Salford City. They will be at Wembley, 2-2 on the night, and they win 3-2 on aggregate. Remarkable, Dave Edwards.
Remarkable. It truly is. What a game of football. Had absolutely everything. And then for it to come down to a young lad, Callum Sese, who would have faced the toughest moments of his life over the last month or so. He gets a big goal in the first leg. And then he has the biggest moment in Salford City's history. And his family be so proud of him. You have to feel for Grimsby. They've come here and been absolute warriors, given their everything. Those away fans will be so proud of how hard their team work, the passion they play with. Epitomises everything about Grimsby Town Football Club. But there has to be winners and losers, and unfortunately for them, they've fallen on the wrong side, but they'll be back. They'll be at the top end of League 2 next season. I have no doubt about that. With the ownership model, David Artell in charge, they will go strength to strength. But this is Salford's night, a special night. Carl Robinson has pushed this team somewhere they've never been before. The highest ever league finish. They're at Wembley. It's a club which is on the up, and these scenes are so special for all these Salford fans.
And for one player in particular who has helped get them over the line. Such a chaotic evening. I got the score wrong in aggregate. It was 4-3, of course, in the end. The goals were flying in, the moments were flying around. So much emotion. So much chaos down there on the field now. And to be fair, a fair bit of chaos down on the field throughout the course of the night. And indeed on the touchline too. Every decision hotly debated. And there will be plenty of talk about this tie for a fair while to come. The question is now, who will they face at Wembley and who will be victorious in the League 2 playoff final? Let's get some reaction. Pien Moulenstein is somewhere in the crowd with Dan Udo.
Dan, Callum, this is an amazing moment for you guys. What's the feeling?
I can't even put it into words, man. Like, honestly, like, I'm just grateful. I'm happy, man. Like, that's it. I have nothing else to say.
When you saw that moment, the ball fell in front of you, you saw the goal, what were you thinking?
My pops helped me with that one. I'll be real, man. I just ran forward and it opened up for me, really. So, yeah.
How are you feeling as well, scoring a goal, getting it over the line to go to Wembley?
Oh, it's a funny old game, football, isn't it? Our emotions have been so high and then back low and then back high again. And this man again, he's done it again for us. get in the box, so composed and slots it in. And yeah, like rightly so, we're going to Wembley like they're saying, and we still got to get one over the line to get promoted. So we'll enjoy this and then get ready for Wembley.
How important was game management today as well, having to go all the way to extra time?
Yeah, really important. You know, like the gaffer set us up for every possibilities. I even thought it was going to penalties, and I was cramping up after 60 minutes, and I thought it could be a long night. But thankfully, and all glory to God, he popped up with another goal for us.
You're going to Wembley. How does that feel?
Honestly, I have no words, man. I have no words. Like, we just have to try and do the best we can at Wembley, really. So, yeah.
Is it important to keep this feeling, though, now, seeing these fans around you, the celebrations, and taking that all the way to Wembley?
Yeah, definitely. We'll regroup and we'll see what comes next, and just take on Wembley, really.
Well, congratulations, both of you. Best of luck for Wembley.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a night in the Northwest. Salford City have done their job. They are at Wembley and have a shot at League One football for next season. A remarkable evening, and the party, you feel, for some, has only just started. And for so long, we wondered who might get there, but it's Salford City, and we'll find out now who they are up against at Wembley as we cross to Meadow Lane to see who is victorious there.